right. Hey, Hackathon. Welcome to Mixed Reality Toolkit 3 from Microsoft. So, if you guys have just watched my MRTK2 video, you'll notice immediately that we're in the dark. You can't see my office around me. And that's because the Oculus integration for Unity 3D hasn't quite caught up with the OpenXR implementation that MRTK3 uses. But what I did want to do is kind of jump in and show you guys. This is kind of the evolution of something that has, for MRTK2 to MRTK3, something that has been actively developed against, just this year. So MRTK3 just went into developer preview, so we're getting to see see this right before it goes into GA, what it looks like by the end of the year. So what I wanted to do is just take a second and go through some of the individual um, UI elements that they make available to you, and we can kind of get an idea of what a user interface, what an application might look like that exists in this kind of a space. So what is MRTK3? So Unity in of itself is a program that's set up to create the interaction between 3D objects, and so MRTK3 is really a set of rules and uh, you know actions that that control how 3D elements behave in mixed reality. And so when you get your hands close to them, what do they do? What events do you have? What ways do you have to hook into them? And yeah, so let's take a look at some stuff. So one of the first things you'll notice, the difference between this and MRTK2, the hands are, I don't know, I feel like they're a lot more crisp. They're before it kind of seemed something like a tech demo, but this one feels like they've kind of settled on a look and feel with that kind of the white outline. And you'll notice that the elements themselves, all of the panels and things that you pick up and interact with, these are all a little bit more crisp. They've kind of gone away from the really floaty holographic look of MRTK2 to something a little more glass, like clear plastic. And I think that the end result is a much clearer, much sharper, more easy to interact with UI. Let's see one of the benefits you have right off. So imagine this is something really similar to we think about an application like we have. What might that look like? Imagine like a record detail page with related lists and some control buttons, and being able to kind of create these at will, right? You can make these really as big as you want. You can grab both sides and just keep, if I can get a hold of it, and we're just going to make it as small as you want. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not grabbing the right handle. And even still, you see that the technology is still new enough that things can be a little bit finicky sometimes. Your hand gets just out of range of the tracking that's made available by the goggles, and you lose your hand. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. One thing that's missing from this that I noticed from the last one is you have scrolling available, and there was that kind of follow me toggle that MRTK2 had that this doesn't have. And it's not clear yet if some of those missing items, or those are going to be added in a subsequent release, or if that's something they deemed was not necessary coming out of the gate. So we'll see how that goes. And you can see, some little fun things that you wouldn't maybe expect to typically see inside of a business application. But when you've got such a kind of a deep toolbox available to you in an environment like this, adding in experiences like this, especially prefabricated ones like this, it's seems something like a lot more attainable than it might if from a standard kind of web application. Let's see if we can actually get it to delete there. There we go. And pick up 3D objects. And you can see they've developed an approach to highlight these objects without putting a full cube on them, so that I can give the kind of the impression of this is highlighted or selected without without having to draw an entire cube, without having to draw an entire box around it. So you can see that even, you know, as young as this technology is, they're already, you know, the companies that are working on this are already, you know, they're developing strong opinions and optimizing it, improving user experiences, things like that. Let's see what else. Oh, we got a, you know, a piano here and some very satisfying buttons. And you can see the little toggles, and you can be, and on not all of these, so you're used to having to kind of click with things like if you had a controller, but, and it looks like it'll work that way as well, but then it will also work if you go up and just kind of push on it. And developing a design language around that, about how those things should function and behave and be consistent throughout an application, and what those rules are, and, you know, how to control how that behaves is really what MRTK is all about. So here's like a slider that I can pinch and move. And I think I can also watch as that gets small. Huh? I guess not. Oh yeah, there it goes. Interesting. I think these all, resize these, yep. Gonna drop it. Well, that's disappointing. You can't drop it in the coffee. Well, I bet you can drop it in this one over here. And nope, guess not. And you can see it opens up opportunities to bring in, you know, things like 3D objects that can act as, you know, informational alongside data when we interact with it. It's not too hard to imagine a place where things like, we have a company that makes an artificial heart, and, you know, that we're looking at, you know, a quality event or some kind of other record that pertains to that, and being able to take the exact model of the heart that they work on and blow it up and be able to move it from all sides and be able to have that interaction and the data, and all in this, within the same application or environment. So pretty cool. All right, well, that has been about enough fun with MRTK3. Thanks to everybody for your patience, and I look forward to doing more of this in the future. And yeah, good job everybody on the hackathon. Thanks.